Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to Dr. Fazimah and all of my fellow friends. My name is Zayanku Namaisara binti Awaku Syamuddin with the matrix number of 77926. We'll be presenting Indian white prawns, or the common name is white prawns, or the scientific name called Penaeus indicus. The catching technique to catch the Indian white prawn is by using fine mesh net. Firstly, choose your net. Secondly, move the water to create motion. Prawn naturally swim with the tide, so motion will stimulate prawn to move with the water. Use metal spoon and place the metal spoon in front of them. By instinct, prawn will back away from the shiny object. As it swims backward, it will end up in the net. The price range for white prawn at the local market is usually 55 to 60 ringgit per kilogram. Prawn is safe and a sustainable food choices, as the food composed of fish meal that was responsibly harvested is fed to prawn, and farms do not employ forced labor, according to STU1033. Prawn cultivated in a manner that protects the environment without the use of antibiotics and with a minimal amount of chemicals. There is responsible management in place to keep an eye on any changes to the stock or the environment and take proper action as needed. Prawns are super versatile and can easily be cooked in any of the following ways: broiled, sauteed, grilled, and stir-fried. The local favorite dish will definitely and forever will be butter prawn.
Squid, or called calamari, has the scientific name Cutida or Loligo spp. Let us take a look on squid's catching techniques. Casting the bait out and let it sink, then whip the fishing rod up and down few times. Allow the lure to fall back to the ground after that. Squid is safe and sustainable to eat depends on the fishing technique and the location. It would be safe if the catching technique used is low jigging and usually caught at Northwest Pacific. Furthermore, squid has high carbon footprint, which is 5.3 kg of carbon dioxide equivalent. Squid are sold at 25 or 26 ringgit Malaysia per kilogram at the local market. In buying the fresh squid, we must ensure that it has clean viscera and the skin is thin and purplish in color. The common squid cooking technique is cutting it into rounds, breading them, then deep fry it. Sauteing and stir frying, also the body cooked in oven, would be nice. There are many recipes that can be used to prepare the squid, which are as below, and the squid are ready to eat.
Crabs are one of the aquatic organisms that we encounter in our daily meals. Interestingly, the scientific name for crabs is called Brachyura. However, local people, especially on the northern coast of the huge island of Borneo, call it nguang or mang. The common catching technique for local people to catch crab is by using the bento method. Bento is a crab trap with odorless fish as bait inside of it. It is made of wire and net that has a trapdoor with rope and float, and the size is usually 590mm long, 430mm wide, and 270mm high. For the price of crabs in the local market, it varies depending on the location. Nipah crab is one of the types of crab that are widely sold in the local market. There are small nipah crabs sold for around 30 ringgit Malaysia per kilogram and large size nipah crabs sold for 55 ringgit Malaysia per kilogram. Despite that, the price of crab if bought directly from the fishermen is much cheaper than the market.
Crabs are one of the safe and sustainable food choices.
This is because the entire harvesting process is governed by tight legislation. For instance, there are rather severe regulations surrounding how people can harvest crab flesh. For example, the fishing season for stone crab only lasts from October 15 to May 15. This reduces the likelihood of over-harvesting of the crabs. Hence, crabs are a sustainable food supply and people can continue to eat crab meat for a long time by adhering to the required legal limits. There appear to be as many different crab varieties as there are cooking techniques, and certain techniques are more effective for specific species of crab than others. In spite of that, the most common preparation method for crepes is usually by boiling, steaming, or grilling. They go well with melted butter or a sauce in the remoulade flavor, but many local people love to eat crepes that are stir-fried with curry powder and eggs.
The siakap fish, or commonly known as the Asian sea bass in Malaysia, and the slowest fish especially in Sabah and Sarawak, are freshwater and saltwater fish. The scientific name of this fish is Lat skalkerifer. This fish can be catched by using fishing net, catch and hook technique, and also can be catched with rod and reel casting technique.
Rod and reel can catch and release when possible. This will reduce the impacts on fish populations. The new Desgans of fishing net aims to reduce by catch, that is unintended capture of small fish.
Depending on how fresh the fish is, the price of the fish is about RM20 kampung in the local market.
The freshness of the fish is to ensure that the fish have clear and bright eyes. In addition, his eyes will also arise and protrude. Choose fish that have bright red gills and keep the gills wet without having too much mucus. Fresh fish has a shiny and light-colored external skin compared to non-fresh fish that have pale skin. Siakap's best recipe did common people like are grilled siakap, kengsam siakap fish, Thai-style siakap steam, sweet and sour, and free flavored fish.
There are so many types of seafood, and of course certain people can eat it and certain people cannot eat it just because they have the allergy. Here I am talk about lobster, also known as Nephrophidae, have long bodies with muscular tails that reside in sea floor cracks or holes. Lobster have 5 pairs of legs, 3 of which contains claws include the first bigger pair. Lobster catching different from shrimp catching in that of process. A fresh challenge does not need much equipment. The lobster traps can of a wood frame surrounded by mesh, and the shape is rectangle and D shapes. Size is usually 720 mm long, 550 mm wide, and 346 mm high. Lobster price in local market. Lobster quite expensive. They varies depending on the location and also the types of lobster. Mostly we can get it in fresh market or wet market. For the price, live lobster amount around 168 Malaysia ringgit per kilogram, and the frozen is 115 Malaysia ringgit per kilogram. Is lobster safe and sustainable food choice? Yes. Lobster is incredible tasty because meat is sweet and tender. It is comparable to crabs, but lobster is sweet, cleaner, and lighter. Lobster is high in protein, low in saturated fat, and high in vitamins and minerals include B12, copper, zinc, and so on. And lobster also important for brain function. There are so many common preparation methods for lobster, including boiling, steaming, grilling, and roasting. Lastly, local favorite dish, that is grilled garlic butter lobster. People will choose grilled garlic butter lobster because the texture very amazing, it melting inside your mouth.